Welcome to another edition of Jazz Smack, where tonight the Jazz played at home against the Indiana Pacers, and the Jazz put up a startling 152 points. Let's talk about it.
Jazz Smack, NBA and Utah Jazz basketball.
So this was a situation where the Jazz, as a team, shot the ball extraordinarily well from both the field and the three-point line and the free throw line. And so they play an Indiana Pacers team that's kind of just trying to regroup and get all their guys healthy, and it snowballed in a hurry, and they put up a ton of points. And we saw some terrific games from Lauri. We saw terrific Ace Bailey's best game as a pro in terms of shooting and scoring the basketball. And Svi shot the ball really well. We also saw some terrific assists from Isaiah Collier, and it's something we want to talk more about, specifically about how important Isaiah is to not just the development and how the team plays, but how he, as a traditional style point guard, can help the other guys in their development, and how getting guys the ball at the right times in the right positions can really help develop their offensive games. And we've seen that with Isaiah, certainly, especially in this game. We saw it last year, but with this game, I mean, he was terrific. And he was really good in that last game, too, with the assist numbers in a short amount of time. He's playing really well. And it's not only on the offense that I really like Isaiah, but his on-the-ball defense at the point of attack is the best among really all the perimeter guards at this point, other than, we all know what our good friend Elijah Harkless can do. But Elijah doesn't play. So Isaiah, his point of attack defense, I think, is the best on the team, other than Elijah. And his physicality, his aggressiveness, his inner drive, his attitude, and his ability to fight when something goes wrong. He doesn't hang his head. He typically just fights. I mean, if he turns the ball over, he's the type of guy that'll want to get it back on defense and get the ball back and get that possession back. And that's what you want at that point of attack position on the defensive end. So I think the big question with Isaiah, we all know it. We've gone over this a million times, the shooting thing. Tonight he shot the ball really well. And we hope that his efforts in this offseason, help him shoot the ball better long term. But that's to be seen. It's going to take a number of games and a number of games to really see the statistical trend with his shooting. But right now, the way that he runs the team is so beneficial to all the other guys. It's just a massive, massive thing. Just huge to take Keontae, play him off the ball more, and have the ball in Isaiah as the primary ball handler. I hope that we see more of that, in all honesty, because I think the Jazz were benefited tremendously last year once Keontae was taken off the ball and Isaiah was put on the ball as the primary ball handler and primary, instigator of the offense.
Yeah, I also think that Keontae benefited from that too, because it's his more natural position that he would admit, and I think everybody else would say. So there was a benefit to both players in doing that. Isaiah 11 assists in 26 minutes tonight. He just has a different. He has this skill as a point guard that, either it's innate that he has, or he's just developed it over time, and he's clearly a different player. Now, the thing you and I are going to be, I find, really interesting. I don't think we can look at Isaiah after 15 games because he hasn't started enough or he hasn't played it enough. But I think after 20 games, to look at Isaiah's advanced stats and how the rest of the team does and shoots, et cetera, and efficiency when he's playing versus some other point guards. And the hypothesis I'm making is I think that Isaiah is going to be substantially better. Now, I don't know that. We're going to have to test that out. but that's my hypothesis because he just is a different. The interesting thing is that like Colin, which is my favorite player on the Jazz last year. Colin would get an assist because he moved the ball around the horn, to somebody else that was open, right? And they would shoot and hit it. Isaiah, he does that too, and those are the easy assists, but he assists people to get them open. He has that skill to be able to do that, and very few players do. I think Flip has that. I think Isaiah has that, and it was really encouraging tonight. Now, let me say one thing about the game. I looked at the line coming into this, and I'll tell you, I've never bet in my life. I don't understand lines. I don't get them. I don't know how they're made, etc. But all I can say is Las Vegas is almost always right. I'm thinking because that's how they make money. They're very good at it. Indiana was favored by 2.5 points going into this game. They're 1-9, and they're coming into Salt Lake City. I saw that line and I'm like, okay, I don't understand lines, but I don't get that. How in the world is Indiana favored coming into this game? And we see the result. There's no way Indiana should have been favored coming into this game because this is, not only are they down in players, they're not a good team, and they're coming into one of the toughest places in the NBA to play in altitude, and they're favored by 2.5 points. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't pay attention. I typically don't pay attention to the lines either, and I had no idea that was the case because that doesn't make any sense at all. Because Indiana, they did get T.J. McConnell back tonight, but this is his first game back. He only played in the first half because they're trying to ease him back into it, and they have Nembhard finally back on the court too. So I think that Indiana is going to straighten this thing out, and I don't think that, quite frankly, I don't think Indiana, even though maybe they should want to lose, I don't think they want to lose. And I don't think they're going to try and lose. They have enough good players. They need to get Mathurin back and all that, but they have enough good players. They can right this ship and they can win games in the East. But right now they're going through some real struggles because they have all these guards that were, Halliburton is lost for the year, sure, but then you have McConnell, Nembhard, and Mathurin all out too. I mean, those are difficult circumstances. But yeah. So that line, I don't understand it. I agree with that. But as a whole, the team shot extraordinarily well tonight, and I think that is a lot to have to do with Collier. But to see Lauri get back on track again tonight is extraordinarily important. I don't think we should sacrifice. I don't think we should sacrifice Lauri's numbers for. Lauri is too important of an asset. I don't think we should sacrifice his numbers in order to increase others' numbers. I think we need to keep Lauri at around 25 points a game and not have him sink under that. So to continue to feed Lauri the ball in places where he can succeed, I think is very important. Now, Svi's numbers, that's kind of Will Hardy is trying to, like I've previously said, he's trying to steady the ship right now. And so Svi's playing a lot. If somebody else steps up, I think Svi's numbers go down. But for right now, Will Hardy thinks that Svi gives them the best chance of not being blown out, quite frankly. And that's why Svi's playing. But Ace was terrific tonight, and this is his best game. And, I just want to see him play really hard, which he is. I'm not seeing him dog it. We've seen other players dog it at times. Ace has been really good, and his effort is really good. I just want to see supreme effort on both ends of the court. I think the Jazz can help him as well, like they can help Lauri by putting Lauri in better positions. I think they can put Ace in better positions too. Ace shot 8 threes tonight. I would rather him shoot more mid-range. He made the threes tonight, but overall, I'd still rather his comfort zone is that mid-range shot. I'd like to see him get really comfortable taking high-quality shots, even if he's coming off down screens and getting into mid-range shots where he doesn't even have to dribble the ball, just coming off those picks and getting in those mid-range shots. I mean, he can do that. He can do that going to his left or right. And I'm I'm just thrilled that he had a good night tonight, but I think the Jazz can even put him in better positions moving forward as they concentrate more on the offensive end.
And one of the things I really like about Ace is that he had 13 shots tonight. And as a rookie, you would say that's still a lot of shots, but we've seen in some rookies in our last few seasons that they come out and they just gun it. And you got Lauri Markkanen on your team that's an all-star level of player, and you're gunning it rather than him. Ace is talented. I think his shots are going to go up as he gets more and more confidence and more integrated, but he's not coming in and just shooting the ball every time. He's passing it. He's looking for his other players. He's trying to do other things. Is he perfect? No, he's absolutely not the perfect player. You said this last podcast. He's making a lot of mistakes, but the reality is he's trying hard and he's showing skills and he's looking, and honestly, every game he plays, he looks a little bit better. And, you got to be encouraged by that. He started the season on the bench, not playing because of the illness. When he came back, he didn't have his legs. Then I think he struggled for a couple of games when he did come back, but he is starting to look better and better like he did in the preseason. It's very encouraging. Let me just say one thing about Svi. You made this comment about Svi of Hardy riding the ship, and I got to tell you, I don't know what Hardy's doing. You may have heard that in an interview. I never know exactly what Hardy is doing, like even if he says it. But I just want to throw out some stats to you, like in saying, so this year Svi is playing 27 minutes a game. He's shooting 43.6% from the field overall, 35.6 from three. The league average this year is slightly under 36, so he's under league average. 80% from the free throw line, 2.8 rebounds a game, 1.7 assists, 0.7 steals. Now, that's not bad, but it's not stellar. Honestly, it's not standing out. So, I think if you're saying look, what Will's trying to do is to have a veteran presence, absolutely, you get that with Svi. If you're saying look, these are the numbers that are really helping the team stay in games, and looking at those numbers, those don't do it for me. And honestly, so I don't know Will's strategy. I've never been able to figure out Will and exactly what he's doing, but I heard David Locke say how well Svi's playing, and then I look at those stats and I say, yeah, okay. He's playing okay, right? I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's certainly not the guy that is keeping the team in games, in my opinion.
No, I just think I think this is what Will believes. That's my only comment about it. I mean, Svi's numbers in terms of playing time have to go down over time this season. They cannot stay at 27 minutes a game. We cannot sacrifice those development minutes for those other players the entire season. It's too important. I mean, those development minutes this season are vital. The Jazz have to evaluate and develop this season. They cannot just sacrifice an entire year of development with 27 minutes of games for Svi. I mean, Svi seems like a really good guy. I mean, we say this often about okay, he seems like a really good guy, and I have no complaints. And Ace has even said Svi's helping him a lot. He stated that, and I believe that. But still, that's still 27 minutes a game that we have Bryce, we have Ace, we have Isaiah, we have Walt, we have Cody Williams. I mean, we have a lot of guys that need minutes, in the back, those backcourt minutes or wing player minutes. And to have 27 minutes to go to Svi that's a lot of minutes. Just being consumed.
And honestly, Kyle, right? I mean, these guys now, he's not playing the same position, but the reality is Kyle struggled on his shot this year. We know he can shoot the ball, so I want to see him get more. We know he's a great passer. He's did some amazing passes. So I just want to see him get more and more comfortable in an NBA game, that it all kind of comes out, because, they press. I mean, we saw that. We see what there was a lot of players is that they're okay, they can hit it in practice. Okay. They can hit it in summer league. Okay. But then they get in a real NBA game and they feel the nerves and they don't shoot as well. And the reality is the way to get around that is you just do it more and more and more through repetition. So I don't want to see Svi sit on the bench all the time either. So as you said, he's a really nice guy. We like him, etc. It's just he's not part of the future. And I don't think his stats support you saying, look, we got to have him in there. to stay in games. I don't, the stats don't scream that when I look at them.
Yeah, I don't. I anticipate this lasting a bit longer, but I think that I don't. I don't even. I don't even foresee this lasting until this next year into January. I mean, there's no way that he can continue to play Svi Mykhailuk 27 minutes a game into January. I hope that's not the case, because I think I mean, we can all see all the complaints online and everything, and there's a lot of complaints among Jazz fans that this is the case right now, and I can understand what Will is thinking right now in this, whether I agree with it or not. I can understand his thinking. It's just that it can't continue forward for an extended period of time, because just too many guys need to play. Bottom line.
Yeah, well, you say can't. It can. It's just because you and I don't control it, but we hope it doesn't continue forward. And I think that's probably a lot of other Jazz fans too, is the same way. But honestly, I have trouble figuring out Will and his strategy. There's a lot of things that he's thinking that we don't know about, of like why, and I'm sure there's a rationale for doing it. We can only judge it based upon what we know, and I agree with you. Like, I don't think it is the best use of the minutes, but let's trust our coach. He is our coach, and let's hope that he knows what he's doing, right? At the end of the day, because at the end of the day, we all as fans just want to get better and have a championship level team. So we don't know how to get there. You and I have our opinions on how to get there. Will has his, but let's hope he has some logic behind the strategy.
Yeah. So in tonight's game, Lauri did score 35 points on 13 for 19 from the field, 5 for 7 from 3, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. So Lauri is certainly, I mean, this was a terrific game. He's had a couple, 2 or 3 games in a row where he hasn't had the best games, but this game is obviously completely different from that. And Ace Bailey too, 7 for 13 from the field overall, and the 4 for 8 from 3, 2 for 2 from free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, good numbers. And that Isaiah Collier, the 5 for 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, with the 11 assists against only 2 turnovers and 6 rebounds as well. So again, I mean, those guys were terrific. Kyle Filipowski played a really good game tonight. Awesome game. And if you look at this box score, the plus minus, every single player on the team was plus. Well, Keontae was -2, but every other player on the team that played was plus, and Elijah Harkless barely played at all, and he was even a +3. So, from top to bottom, the roster played really well, and they've had some struggles in the last few games. So I think this is probably, I mean, there's always the argument, you're winning too much, you're winning too little. You have to have some wins here and there. And they've had a string of losses in a row, and so I don't mind this win tonight, especially against Indiana, which is a 1-9 team. If you lose this game against a team that's playing that poorly and going through that many struggles, I don't think that's a really good omen for the young guys. So I think this was actually a needed win tonight.
Yeah, it's really helpful to have Indiana on your schedule in Salt Lake City to get you right? I mean, we were shooting many of these recent games 40% from the field, like really, really bad. Got blown out in Minnesota, just looked not strong at all. And we come into this, shoot over 50%, shoot well from 3, rebound well, score a ton of points. More turnovers than in Indiana, but that's every game for us, right? But it wasn't terrible, 14 turnovers. So it really helps to have Indiana schedule to get right. And coming up on our schedule, Thursday, we have Atlanta in town, not playing stellar this year, winnable game. Chicago coming in town, lost a tough one to San Antonio on the last second shot by Wemby. At Los Angeles, Oklahoma City coming in. Good luck with that one. And then the Lakers coming in again after an on-the-road game. So we have some winnable games in there, right? I mean, Oklahoma City is probably not one of them. At the Lakers, I think is going to be tough too, but we have some winnable games in there. So it'll be fun to see kind of how they play in those.
Yeah, I mean, the Jazz are playing a bunch of home games now, and they're going to be plus a bunch of home games over the next series of games. They were plus a bunch of road games. Now that's trending back the other way, and they're going to be at the end of this string of home games. They're going to be plus a bunch of home games, and that's fine. That's the NBA season. That's the way it kind of rolls. But yeah, it's. I want to see the guys be competitive more, as much as anything. Especially on the defensive end, this defense has been so stressed. I want them to share the ball on offense, and then on the defensive end, I want to see grit. That's what I want to see out of the guys. I want to see toughness and grit. I don't want to see them give up on plays. And if the Jazz are going to be good, they have to get back to those basic principles, and that's what I want to see from the guys. I want to see growth in that area.
Yeah. To me, I just want to see guys playing hard and being competitive and numbers improving. And we saw that. So let's hope we have the same Atlanta on Thursday. We see a similar effort. I want to see if Ace, some of these rookies this year, this great class, multiple of them hit 30. I think did a Cooper Flag hit in this last game that he hit 30. So Ace has hit 20 now. I just want to see when he gets to 25, 30. It'll be really fun because he clearly has the ability to do that. I only saw one wild shot. He hit took a 3-pointer from the top of the key, and I'm not sure he hit the basket at all. He was way off, and that one was forced. But there's not a ton of forced shots. Honestly, they're mostly shots he can all hit, and that's so impressed for a guy who's just barely turned 19.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that we will call it quits for tonight. And for those watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow us on X at JazzSmack. And we will talk to everybody later.